I'm Mr. MegaManFan. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. You know all the things to do. I picked up 3 PlayStation Vita games that were opened and 2 that were sealed on Wednesday, and I'm going to test the 3 that are already opened in this video, starting with Code Realize Guardian of Rebirth. Now, according to Reddit, which you either can or can't believe depending on your preference, the order you should play Code Realize games in is Guardian of Rebirth, Future Blessings, and Wintertide Miracles, which makes it a good thing that this is the first one out of the 3 that I own that I'm actually delving into. Yeah, I've just been picking up these games here and there, but I haven't actually played any of them a significant amount until today, testing what is actually the first one sequentially or chronologically speaking. Also, this is described as an otome game, and if I'm mispronouncing that, I deeply apologize, but it is considered to be a story-based romance game targeted toward women with a female protagonist as the main character. But to me, though, that seems like a misconception of what otome could be, because if you're a fan of Japanese culture and Japanese manga and Japanese anime, are you going to want a female protagonist? Of course you are. You probably have a collection of animes where women are the lead characters and read lots of books where they are the heroes that save the world from peril. So I wouldn't say otome games are for women only, but I would say, having played Guardians of Rebirth, it may not be for people who don't enjoy visual novel games, because to me, that's exactly what this is. I mashed the X button for about 10 minutes, hoping I would actually get to do something interactive, but only to be greeted with more dialogue and more exposition. So this is very much a game telling you a story, as opposed to a game where you play the story and make choices that affect the outcome of the story. This is as linear gets. You just push X and go to the next scene, and push X and go to the next scene. And if there is something other than that, I didn't see it in the amount of time I spent testing this game. Although seeing Arsène Lupin show up was a nice surprise. I was not expecting the great-grandfather or grandfather, whatever he would be, of the modern day Lupin that I watch in anime would be in this game, but so he is, and in typical Lupin fashion, he steals away the protagonist and takes her on a journey. A journey to where? Who knows? What are his ultimate goals? Probably to make a profit somehow, but he's not the only famous character in this series. After doing a little more research, it turns out the likes of Victor Frankenstein and Van Helsing are also characters in this game, among others, so maybe that's enough of a hook to draw you in. So if you like visual novel games and you like famous figures from fiction, then this is probably something for you. And if you don't like mashing X a bunch of times and just reading text without really getting to do anything, then it's probably not for you. It just depends on how much you enjoy visual novel games, whether they're called otome games or not. This is definitely in the category of visual novel games, so I'll give it a chance and see what it's about, and then that will better prepare me for the other Code Realize games that I already have copies of. And I think I've got the full series. I'm only aware of 3 games in total. But let's move on to Sword Art Online. Speaking of things that are heavily influenced by Japanese manga and anime, you can't get more so than Sword Art Online. In fact, my friend Chris is a pretty big fan of the animated version of Sword Art Online, to the point that I know he has multiple collections, steel books, etc., etc. And if you're a fan, you wouldn't have a hard time accumulating a lot of things, because it's been running as a novel series since 2002, as a light novel since 2009, as an anime since 2012. There's no shortage of actual official Sword Art Online products, and then you lump in all the spin off ancillary products like statues and pillows and whatever else you might want. I don't know, and I'm not judging. I'm just saying those things are out there for anime fans. So, Sword Art Online has quite a bit of things out there. And as the name implies, it's about an RPG that the people in the series play online, only they get trapped in the game, and if you die in the game, you die in real life. So the stakes are quite high for Sword Art Online. Needless to say, that kind of premise would also lead to video game adaptations, and Sword Art Online Lost Song is definitely one of them, but there are many. As I've already been saying, when it's been around for this long, there's no shortage of products out there. So if you want to immerse yourself in Sword Art Online, you've got plenty of choices. It started with Sword Art Online Infinity Moment for PlayStation Portable, and then Hollow Fragment was the Vita game that came before this one, along with Infinity Moments. So after that was Lost Song and Hollow Realization, and there was even a social networking game called Sword Art Online End World, but that was strictly for mobile phone users. And that seems to be the direction the series has gone in lately, is mobile games. Although there was at least one crossover game called Excel World versus Sword Art Online that got released on PS4, Vita, and Steam. So there's one other Sword Art Online game to look for. But yeah, a lot of them end up being something like the real show and manga itself, where you're actually playing a multiple online player role playing game. Art imitating life, or vice versa. The choice is up to you, but I think this one is more fun for me than Code Realize, because you're actually getting to explore a world, even if it's a fictional world within a fictional world, but you're actually controlling somebody and doing things. You're collecting items, attacking monsters, and leveling up and exploring and enjoying the different scenarios that are presented to you, and more directly engaging with what you're playing as opposed to just reading it. So this is more my kind of game than Code Realize, but I'm not saying Code Realize is bad and Sword Art Online Lost Song is good. I'm just saying they are different flavors depending on what your tastes are. And this one is definitely more to my taste. So it's probably the one I'm going to be spending more time with and enjoying more out of the games that I picked up. And I'm running out of steam here because it's late and I'm pretty tired. So for this final one, World of Final Fantasy, I'm not going to say that much because I've already played this on PlayStation 4. I will note that it has crossover play. So now that I own the Vita version, I can go back and forth between the PS4 game and the Vita game with my save data, which is a pretty nice handy feature that certain games in this generation took advantage of and a lot didn't because they weren't released for both platforms. But Marvel vs. Capcom is one of the other ones that I remember that allowed crossover, and Super Meat Boy, funnily enough, has crossover play as well. So it's interesting which games support it and which don't. I think Shovel Knight does too, actually. So, I'm Mr. MegaManFan. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching. I hope you're having a good day, good week, good month, good year. Whatever it is, I hope you're doing well out there. And I hope to see you in the next video when I show off, I think I'll do Sega Genesis games next, because I've got a little pile of 4 that are complete in box that I want to test and find out more about. But for now, thank you for watching.